just a few more things now. I actually got one of the first games for a console. That is the Dreamcast, and I never owned a Dreamcast as a kid, and don't currently own one, but my brother owns one, so I thought, I might as well start picking up some games for it. And what better game to start off the Dreamcast with than with Sonic Adventure? And I think it's known on this channel that I'm a big Sonic fan, and Sonic Adventure, you know, kind of split the fan base. Some people loved it, some people thought, oh no, Sonic's dead. I loved Sonic Adventure. I mean, I did start off with Sonic Adventure 2, but I played a ton of the DX. I haven't really played much of this, but I've played DX before, and it's a really... does it hold up today? Maybe not, but I don't think it's just nostalgia that makes me want to go back and play the Sonic Adventures. I think it's just because, you know, you're going to kind of get put back in the mindset of a kid, which I suppose is the meaning of nostalgia, but if you look past the glitchiness and the bugginess and... you know, if this game came out nowadays, it would get terrible reviews. If I'm honest, it would definitely get terrible reviews. But it's just fun. It's not a perfect game. It's not a really well-made game. The story's pretty bad, but it's just fun to play. If you haven't played Sonic Adventure, yeah, just try it. It's on so many consoles now. You can get it on the Xbox Live Arcade. You can get it on the GameCube, PC, Dreamcast. Just check it out. I'm sure you have. I'm sure many people have checked this game out, and it was the best-selling game for the Dreamcast. So there you go. It's a good game. Next up, another Wii game, Boom Street. I got this very, very cheap, way too cheap, because this game isn't entirely common, because it was released somewhat towards the end of the Wii's life, and I'm sure the print run wasn't that much, but I got it in a shop. I thought their price was set wrong because it only said £10, and I was like, £10? I've never seen this cheap. So I went to I was kind of nervous when I was paying for it. I hope it didn't come up as more than £10, and then the guy looked at me and he looked confused, and then he looked back, and then he started typing in the stuff again. And I was like, why is he confused? Oh, it's probably the wrong price. And he was like, that's £5, mate. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he was confused because it was so cheap. I was like, it turns out the price on the shelf was wrong. It was even cheaper. Which is, that was great. I love that. But in terms of the game itself, it's nothing like Mario Party. I mean, looking at gameplay, looking at a trailer or something, you'd think it's like just Mario Party with Dragon Quest characters. And this is actually a long-running series in Japan called Itadaki Street, and this game's actually called Fortune Street in America. But it's nothing like Mario Party. It's more like Monopoly. And if you ever played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, there's a mini game in there where you just move around a board, and you have to collect. You have to go past certain stops and then get back to the home, and then go back past certain stops, back to the home. Keep going round and round and round the board until you accumulate a certain amount of money. And you can also buy stock in areas and raise the stock in those areas. So in this game, it's like a simple version of Monopoly. So if you're a big fan of Mario Party, this is not like Mario Party at all, so you may not enjoy it. But if you're a fan of Monopoly, you might enjoy Boom Street. And now on to one of the few new releases in this video. How could I resist picking up Pikmin 3, one of my most anticipated games of the year. I was a massive fan of Pikmin 1 and especially Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 is one of my, probably in like my top 20 games. Absolutely love that game. I just love the quirkiness of and the humour in the games, and just the love and attention that's been put into Pikmin 2 was the best. So I was like, how can they top Pikmin 2? Did they do it? Absolutely, they topped Pikmin 2 with Pikmin 3. This is such a great game. The graphics are amazing. Like, they're cartoony for sure. They're not realistic at all. But just like the water effects and you know, the motion blur and everything just completely brings this game to life. It looks excellent. Like, it looks like if the creatures were actually real creatures. That's what they look like. The graphics are great. The gameplay is even better. You control 3 people now, so there's much more micromanagement. And the Pikmin are actually smarter now. They can actually do stuff on their own. But it's like you can use the gamepad to move some of your party somewhere else with a bunch of Pikmin to do a certain task, where you move one person to do another task, and you get the third person to do something else. So there's a lot more micromanagement in this one. And obviously you get the new Pikmin types, like the winged Pikmin and the rock Pikmin. They work really well as well. The rock Pikmin can now, you can throw them at crystals and stuff to break them. And the winged Pikmin are used for even more puzzles, like so one example of a puzzle, the winged Pikmin can be used to pull up something from the ground, which if they were to let go, it would fall back in the ground. And while you're doing that, you can send someone else underneath with water Pikmin, for example, to get into a new area and do other stuff. Speaking of new areas, all the areas in this game are even more convoluted than they were in like Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2, the underground segments, they were good, they were different, but I wouldn't necessarily say better. Pikmin 3 doesn't really have them anymore. It has caves, but the whole world is one rather than smaller worlds inside of worlds, which I think is a lot better. But it makes the puzzles and stuff much more harder. It's a much more challenging game, I think, than Pikmin 2, in my opinion. And one of the best things about this game is the control scheme. You can use the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, the Wii Remote Plus and the Nunchuck, just to control them like you did in Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1 on the Wii. And that's the best way to play this game, in my opinion, because it's so precise. You can point to wherever you want to go, and just chuck your Pikmin, and you can point at anything, and press Z to lock onto stuff, and to find out information about stuff, while also using the gamepad as a map. So you can put the gamepad aside and not look at it at all if you don't want to. But it's a lot helpful. You can get it to pick out the gamepad and then draw paths for people, or just look at it for information, and you can pause the game while you're doing this. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. And to be honest, if you're playing on the gamepad on its own, it's not as precise as the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. It's actually not as precise as the GameCube controller in the original games on the GameCube. So I definitely recommend playing with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck if you have them. So is Pikmin 3 worth picking up a Wii U for? Probably not. If you're a huge fan of the Pikmin series, then I think it's definitely worth it. But if you do own a Wii U already, I definitely recommend picking up Pikmin 3. It is one of my favourite games of the year, and I think it's better than Pikmin 2, which was one of my favourite games of all time. So, very happy with Pikmin 3. Next up we have the Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix Limited Edition. I think that's what it's called. It might be a different order than that. Square Enix always have weird titles. But I'll do an unboxing and show you the art book that comes with this. And the art book's actually really nice. And what I do like about this packaging is that you actually get the disc in the back of the art book. But it's not like the Batman Arkham City Limited Edition where you didn't get a case at all. At least this comes in a slipcase. And the art's really nice. It shows you like a lot of concept art and, you know, what Sora was going to look like and stuff. The game itself, I haven't actually jumped into the Kingdom Hearts HD yet. What I did do was I watched the cutscenes from 358 Days Over 2, which is kind of like a movie. It's like a 3-hour movie. And honestly, if you haven't played 358 Days Over 2, you might not enjoy it that much, because a lot of the cutscenes are just them standing on the clock tower of Twilight Town, and I imagine that get a little boring. But if you understand the story and stuff, and you've played through the DS version, and it was kind of irritating where most of the cutscenes were just done in text, you'll really appreciate the work that's been put into the cutscenes and how they've been updated, you know, with full voice acting and full movement and stuff from the characters, just as well as they've been done in the original Kingdom Hearts 2, and or ReChain of Memories on this set. They're done really well. I did, however, play ReChain of Memories because this is the first time that Europe has actually got it. America got it on the PS2, and Japan got it along with Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, but we've never got the ReChain of Memories before. And to be honest, I think it's much better suited for the Game Boy Advance. The card gameplay feels very gimmicky and not as smooth in a 3D environment. In my opinion, I prefer the Game Boy Advance version, but I do enjoy the updated cutscenes and voice acting and stuff that have been put into ReChain of Memories. So I will probably push myself and play through the rest of it. But yeah, I recommend this game for sure if you haven't tried out Kingdom Hearts yet, because you're not just getting the original Kingdom Hearts in the best version possible, but you're also getting the rest of the story that leads up to 2. And I think it's inevitable now that since we've got this, we're going to get a 2.5, which I'm predicting now will probably have 2 Final Mix Plus, I think it's called, as well as Birth by Sleep Final Mix, which is the PSP version, and the cutscenes from Coded. And if they do that, you know, go one further, and when you release 3, release the cutscenes of 3D on that, and then, you know, people moan that Kingdom Hearts is spanned over too many consoles. So if they can get the whole part of the story over the PS3 and PS4, I think that'll really please a lot of people. that I wanted to get into the series but couldn't. Next up, another thing that was kind of all for collecting purposes, and that was the new Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, which came out a while in America but only come out a couple of days for us. And it comes with a cool little art book here, and of course I'll show you off the art book. Now, unlike the art book that came with the HD collection a few years ago, there's not much art in here by Yoji Shinkawa himself. It's more of promotional posters and artwork from the game's cases and stuff like that. And it's also got some little notes about the games. And I actually kind of like this art book. I don't mind that it's not much concept art and stuff. I actually really like that they've put all the promotional works into this book. I think it looks really nice. And yeah, I own the HD collection, and I can play all these games in different forms. The main reason I picked this up was because it was the first release of the Metal Gear Solid 2 digital graphical novel, which was actually finished in 2008, but wasn't released until this version, which is really odd. I don't know why they finished it in 2008 and never even bothered to release it on PSP, even in Japan. But also, it's updated with voice acting, and the original Metal Gear Solid digital graphical novel, which I own on PSP, was good, but it never had voice acting, which was a downside. It's been released on this one with voice acting, so you can watch it as a proper movie, like a graphic novel presented in movie style. And I really enjoy that. I've been watching the Metal Gear Solid digital graphical novel, and it's really great. A really great new way to experience the epicness that was the original storyline. And I haven't checked out the second one yet, but I'm sure that's also going to be just as good. Yeah, well, just like Kingdom Hearts, if you've never jumped into Metal Gear, there's no better way to get into it than this. This is about £35 to £40. You get, I mean, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games on here. You get every Metal Gear game from the main series apart from Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, which does include some story, but you're not missing out on a whole bunch, if I'm honest. So if you want to jump into, you know, a really great franchise and you haven't done so already, pick up the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection for PlayStation 3 and enjoy the hell out of yourself. And the last new release on this list, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. My first proper MMO. I wanted to play Final Fantasy XI when it came out, but never got around to it. Not really sure why. So when this was announced for PS3, was it 2 years ago, I actually ordered 2 copies of this. One for myself and one for my friend. Pre-ordered it 2 years ago because Amazon screwed up with the pricing or something, and it was only £7. Both of them together, so it was about 15 together, £7 each. And they actually went through with my order, and I did get them. But then they announced this limited edition, which I've done an unboxing for, and I'll put the link on the video. So I upgraded to this, which was, you know, considerably more than £7, but I still gave this that copy to my brother. Well, I was surprised they honoured it from so long ago, because it wasn't even a Realm Reborn, it was the original Final Fantasy XIV. But anyway, moving on to talking about the game. I cannot see how they managed to screw this up in the first run, because playing this game, I didn't see many faults with it. I haven't, you know, I'm not a huge MMO gamer, so maybe that's why. But there's so much stuff you can do in this game. There's loads of places to go. It's very user-friendly when you start off. The controls are a little hard, well actually they're incredibly hard to get used to. But once you have got used to them, they do run smoothly. It has been translated well onto a controller, but still, because it's an MMO controller, it will take a while to get used to. But yeah, once you get used to the controls and everything, the gameplay itself, it's easy to get into. You just jump in, all I've been doing is running around doing every quest I can possibly do. I'm now a level 19 Thaumaturge, a level 6 or 7 Pugilist, sorry, I'm not exactly sure what it is, and a level 12 Conjurer. I've now unlocked the ability to go to different areas, and I'm really enjoying myself. I love just running around doing, you know, pointless quests that don't even seem like they have a point, like go find someone, big mushroom in the forest. You know, some people might not find that fun. If that's not your thing, you won't find that fun. But if you enjoy just, you know, the sense of leveling up, the sense of completing stuff, the sense of unlocking achievements, and all that, you'll really enjoy this MMO. And it's so much fun to battle in. I haven't done much quests and much multiplayer, to be honest. I've been playing this as a single player game. But still, as a single player game, the story it doesn't hold its own as well as single player Final Fantasies, but it is worth it. It is worth it to play through with the story, because the story is kind of good. But yeah, really enjoy my time with Final Fantasy, and if you're a big fan of MMOs, I think you'll probably still like this. If you hated Final Fantasy 14, I don't really see anything to hate in this game. I don't know how they managed to screw it up that badly, because there's nothing really that they screwed up about this version. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy and you haven't played MMOs, maybe, starting off with a Final Fantasy MMO is a good idea. And that's exactly what I've done, and I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. Really enjoyed Final Fantasy 14, and I'll most likely upgrade to the PS4 version when that is released. And now onto the special bit, and there are a couple games in here that I have bought recently, but that's not the most important thing in this little bit. So, the voice of Mario was coming to a John Lewis store in London, and he was doing sign-ins, so I managed to get these 3 games signed by the voice of Mario. And if you can't see the sign-ins very well, I'll show a little close-up of those. But I've got Super Mario 64 signed, Super Mario Sunshine signed, and Super Mario Galaxy signed. And they're all signed personally, so they actually say my name on it. They actually read, Super Jamie, you're the best, wahoo. And just imagine that in Mario's voice. So the only game out of those that I owned beforehand was Mario Sunshine. So I did pick up Mario 64. And what can I say, Mario 64 is one of my 4 all-time favourite games. Absolutely love it so much. It's my favourite platformer ever, and as a huge platformer fan, that's a big statement there. I just love the amount of stars you can collect, the amount of stuff that there is. The hub world is just so much fun to run around Peach's castle. I never actually played this game when it was released, so it's not nostalgia for me. It's just saying that, this is your favourite game ever. It's just simply the game itself and the gameplay and everything alone. The music's great. You got Koji Kondo from like Zelda fame doing the music. I absolutely love the Dire Docks track, and the amount of times I've started this game and I still love running along Bob-omb Battlefield. And the first boss is just so many memories with this game. I've never actually played it on the Nintendo 64. I played it on the Virtual Console, but it's just it feels so good to finally get it released. Finally own it on the Nintendo 64 where it was really originally released. And if you haven't checked out Super Mario 64, what are you doing? It's an absolutely excellent game, and I cannot praise it enough. One of these days, I'll do a video about it. And yeah, Super Mario Galaxy was also a new pickup for me. I did own it before when I owned a Wii previously, but now I'm a collector and I picked it up again. Also, what can I say about this game? This is, again, one of my favourite 3D platforms of all time. Most likely my second, just short of Mario 64. The gameplay, the mechanics, the music, the sheer worlds, the graphics. The graphics are amazing. And, just the colossal epicness of the levels. And there are so many levels in this game. There's new power-ups. There's so much to talk about this game. I absolutely loved it when I played it before. I got 121 stars as both Mario and Luigi. And, the bosses are great. There's just so much stuff to say about this game. I cannot praise this game enough. I absolutely love the 3D Mario games, and of course Super Mario Sunshine's the black sheep, but it's still an absolutely amazing game. The 3D Mario games are the best 3D platformers that are out there, no question, and I think a lot of people will agree with me when I say that. So one thing to mention very quickly, I also went to Summer Sonic and got some Sonic games signed. And, I'm going for a complete Sonic collection, and then after that maybe I'll go for a complete Sonic signed collection, because they do Summer Sonic every year, and if I find a game that the person's worked on, I'll get him to sign it. So I took a bunch of friends with me along, because you can only get one game signed each. But yeah, I'll do close-ups of these as well. I got Sonic Rush signed, Sonic Rivals, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic Colors, all autographed. They're all autographed by Takashi Iizuka and someone else who I'm very sorry about. I think the name's escaping me at the moment. But yeah, none of these were new pickups, but it's so great to have a bunch of games in my collection that are now signed, and some of my favourite games. signed by some of my favourite people who have made these games. So thanks for watching. If you stuck through to the end, especially thank you for taking a look at all this great stuff I've got here. The next one probably won't be as big because I've got to save it for the PS4. In my last games I bought recently, I mentioned my summer backlog challenge, which unfortunately hasn't come to an end yet. It's taken a while. Several reasons for why that is, but I'll release a video soon about my reviews of those games that I was going to play. And yeah, I hope you're looking forward to it, and subscribe if you don't want to miss out. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.